Great to see you here. I was a big fan of Beast Wars and also your work on She-Ra, because I think you did like the pilot five-parter, really excellent. I was wondering if you had any specific challenges working on like a toyetic show like Beast Wars that might not have come up if you were doing like a toy or a cartoon that was like less toy oriented.
To be honest, almost every show I've worked on is pretty toy oriented. There were, depending on what studio you were working for, there were a lot of restrictions. For instance, He-Man, he had this massive sword that we couldn't hit anybody with. In fact, we weren't even allowed to chop down a live tree. He was allowed to, break a already established dead tree in order to have it fall across the road and stuff like that. But there was a lot of, there was an actual child psychologist that they had on retainer that would go over every script. And he was actually very useful when he wasn't trying to actually suggest stories himself. Everyone wants to be a writer, heck, I did. I learned a lot of things from him that have actually been useful since. Stuff like the vast importance kids place on promises. You never, if you're a hero, if you promise something, you deliver. You just, even if you have to move the moon, I mean, you will, so you, to start with, don't make a promise, and if you do promise, come through with it. And that was just little things like how much kids will remember of things like that and whether they will like a character or not. At that time, pirates were not cool. But then they had done a show that had a pirate in it, and that pirate had made a promise to a little girl, and he went through hell and high water to fulfill that promise, and from then on, he was the coolest character around. So that was just, one of those things you learn. Whereas with Beast Wars, as long as we made sure to promote the characters that they wanted, man, we could get away with anything. I remember we just have Rhinox pull out those twin chain guns and just hammer somebody and blow them to pieces. And it was like, okay, fine. And so it really just depended on the company and the target audience.
Awesome, thank you so much. And if I could do a final question.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite Maximal and a favorite Predacon?
Well, really, both were Dinobot.